More about the world of transportation and shipping. I'm joined by Satish Jindel, President and Principal Consultant at SJ Consulting. Welcome to Biz Asia America. Let me ask you about the shipping industry. First of all, it's very diverse and big. We're talking about planes, trains, ships. What are the current trends that are in force right now?
You know, the air freight is really going through a lot of transformation. It used to be till a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, products had to be there overnight, high-value items. So there were a lot of planes being deployed by big players like UPS, FedEx, DHL in moving things across the globe on an overnight basis. That is starting to change a little bit. People, as a result of improved technology, greater visibility on the supply chain, and cost consciousness, have moved from express to deferred air freight.
What does that mean?
Which means that instead of being overnight, I'm okay if it takes 3 days.
So I save a little money by, instead of having it overnight, maybe it's 2 or 3 or 4 days.
Correct.
But it's faster than 6 or 7 days by the ground.
Or across the oceans, it is 20 days by sea.
You know, this financial crisis, when it first occurred 5 years ago, you know, you could picture all of the planes and ships being sidelined because there wasn't the demand for all the shipping. How has the financial crisis changed the industry as a whole?
A lot of the carriers had to rethink about the capacity they were putting in place. You mentioned about the ships also in 2008 and 9. Near Singapore, there were about 100, 200
Hundreds of ships just sitting there idle.
Exactly. So that brought about some discipline for a period of time. But if you look at the shipping industry last year, a lot of them didn't make money still. There are some bright spots like Maersk, which had very good profit margins last year and had even better ones in the first quarter. So it depends upon individual companies, how well they're managing that situation.
Fast forward to where we are today, the world is recovering. Europe is not in crisis. America seems to be rebuilding itself, and China doesn't have this massive slowdown that everyone was fearing for. So the world isn't so bad. How has that impacted the current shipping? Is there enough ships to match the demand?
Yeah, the shipping is fine. I think that's an area where there are so many shipping lines, and a lot of them are owned by governments. So they don't have short-term thinking. They're able to plan for long-term, which helps in that situation. It's more on the air side where it's all private carriers, and they have to show profit no matter what the economy is. And that's where some of the structural changes are coming about.
One of the biggest costs in shipping, whether you're on a big ship or you're on a 747 or an Airbus 380 and you're delivering goods, the biggest cost is essentially fuel. Now, how have airlines and transportation companies, have they done a better job in managing that? Are they hedging their fuel costs?
You know, this is where the airlines and the shipping lines who move cargo versus those who move passengers have a very good system of fuel surcharge. So they peg the fuel.
They just make you pay more.
They set the fuel prices at a certain benchmark, and anytime it moves from it, they apply a surcharge. So they don't make profit on it there. It is used to offset the changes that they don't control. Unlike the airlines, where there is no system like that. So they have to find a way to do hedging. FedEx's, UPS, DHL, shipping lines, they've got a bunker fuel or air fuel surcharge, and it allows them to be totally neutral.
I want to ask you about somebody you might know. His name is Warren Buffett. He does not invest in airlines. He does not invest in ships, but he does invest in railroads and trains, and as he sees it as the future. Why this interest in trains? I mean, it's such an old technology. How did this become a hot technology all of a sudden?
When he bought BNSF, he said he loved the railroad so much that he ended up buying it instead of just getting a few shares. And you can see there's been a great performance for it. The railroads, there are only 4 in the country, and they have their exclusive right-of-way. And as a result, when there is any problems with the traffic and highways or anything, they're not affected by it. They maintain it. They can maintain the speed. They have improved the service. And as a result, if you think about it.
Is it the most efficient way to move goods by rail? I mean, whether it's in the United States or in Europe or in Asia, has that been determined as the most efficient way, or is it not?
In America, it definitely is. And the only one that could be more efficient are barges that go up and down the rivers.
Like in
but they are limited in where they can go.
Okay. I want to thank you I wish we had more time, but unfortunately, we've got to get to some other news as well. I want to thank you for again coming to Biz Asia America. Mike, it's time for you with the world news.
All right, Phil, thanks so much.